To be honest, I'm tired of black victimhood. At this point, I'm over it. Like I'm done. Like I feel like at this point we don't ran it to the ground. Now I gotta watch black people being openly racist against Asian people because of the Cyrus and Chow case. And you got black people crying and complaining again, talking about how all the other races don't like them and how everybody mistreats them. And meanwhile, black people never want to talk about how we're the worst to each other. Everybody want to lead out the conversation. They want to talk about black on black crime don't exist. They don't want to address the teen takeovers. They don't want to address YN culture. They don't want to address our abortion rates. They don't want to address all the black on black violence and us beating the crap out of each other on World Star. They don't want to address all the violent negative rap. They always want to point fingers at other people. So now I got to listen to people whining and crying and complaining, talking about Asian people mistreating them and racially profiling them. But y'all wasn't saying nothing when y'all had all the YNs and the kids in hoodies doing the flash mob robberies, breaking into their businesses, assaulting their parents, robbing Asian women, killing Asian elderly people. Y'all had nothing to say then, but now y'all want to go play victim and you want to try and penalize all Asian people behind the actions of one Asian man. Imagine if the rest of society looked at the actions of the black kids, black people terrorizing America right now. Look up the teen takeovers and all the spring breaks that they shooting up. What if other races were like, you know what? A black person killed one of us, let's boycott all black people. Like how would that look? Y'all be crying up and down about how wrong it is to judge black people against the actions of a few, but y'all are literally doing it to Asian people right now. So it's just like the hypocrisy is just nauseating. I'm just done with black victimhood. Like I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear the crying and complaining. 500 people have been shot in Chicago this year, mostly black people, done by black people. Y'all got nothing to say about that. Nobody ever want to have a conversation, but y'all want to cry up and down all the time about how you're mistreated and hunted, but we don't ever want to look in the mirror and address the demon within ourselves.
So I've been really looking into this Rick Chow case. And Lord, when I say rest in peace to that child, but Sean Kent at the Kent law firm, he was on the case. I did not watch the trial. But what I learned was three important things. And people don't understand that evidence speaks more than emotions do. So even though we feel we know what happened, it didn't happen the way that we thought, but evidence speaks for itself. So the three things I learned is that they said that he was shot in the back, and the evidence showed that it was they call it a flank position. So it showed that there was some type of movement, and the way the bullet entered, I don't know how to explain it. Go watch Officer Tatum when he interviewed Sean Kent from the Kent law firm. That was one of the things. So it wasn't just a straight shot into his back. Two, what I also learned is that the state tried to hide evidence. So when the 911 call came in, Rick Chow told everything to the 911 dispatcher. The police officer's body cam, when they were talking to Rick Chow, everything Rick Chow said to the police, everything that he said to the 911 dispatcher, it was consistent. Basically, when they were listening to the audio, the body cam footage audio, it said that Rick Chow did not see a firearm at first. The state cut it off, the audio at Rick Chow did not see a firearm. But there was another officer standing there. And when they looked into his body camera footage and was listening to the audio, it said, I didn't see a firearm at first, but then da 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 da. To the jury, it looked like the state was hiding evidence. And they were like, Sean Kent, the attorney, he even said one of the jurors looked like, why would you not play that audio? Why would you not play that? Why would you play the one where it cut off? So the state looked like they were being deceptive. Three is they didn't put Rick Chow on the stand, but what they did was they humanized Rick Chow, and they said Rick Chow has a language barrier. You know, like he doesn't speak really good English. So they put someone else that could humanize Rick Chow on the stand, and that was the EMT worker. The EMT worker, she said that when she came up on the scene, she saw Rick Chow giving mouth to mouth and doing chest compressions. What does that tell you? That Rick Chow was actually trying to save this young child's life even after he was shot. She said, and this is so gross, she said that while they were doing the chest compressions and the mouth to mouth, that Cyrus, that he vomited 2 or 3 times. And they said normally when that happens, a person is gonna pull back and be like, okay, yeah, no. They said, the EMT said that Rick Chow came up, he spit the vomit out, and proceeded to do mouth to mouth on that child. And then when he threw up again, spit it out, and proceeded to do mouth to mouth on that child. So that jury is looking like the intention wasn't to, he just felt like he was gonna do harm to his son, and that's why things went the way they went. Sean Kent, evidence, he went inside, not with just a book bag. The book bag was said to be empty book bag. There was no money on his person, and then 3, a firearm. So there was a lot of inconsistencies with witnesses. You could add that as a 4th thing. Sean Kent said there was a lot of inconsistencies with the witnesses. 911 call came in. They said that they didn't see anything. They just know like this kid is whatever. Okay. But when they get on the stand, they're divulging all this information. Now you look like you're being deceptive and you're not a credible witness. But the part that got me is this child vomiting several times, and Rick Chow was spitting it out and still proceeding to do mouth to mouth to save his life. I know y'all don't want to hear that, but like I said, evidence speaks. And he also said he felt that in the Carmelo Anthony trial, where the defense screwed it, is because they didn't put Carmelo Anthony on the stand, where it would have humanized him, where he could have spoke to the jury and related to the jury like, look, like at the end of the day, like I know this is what people expect, but this is how I was feeling, and then let them decide. But that's not what happened. He didn't even get on the stand. But let me know what you think about the Rick Chow case and the 3, potentially 4 things that I listed. But when you hear that there's inconsistencies in witness testimony and that the state tried to hide evidence, it make you look at things like, well, if you felt you were valid, why would you try to hide this evidence? Let me know what you think in the comments.